Alright guys, how's it going? I am finally back after being sick that entire week. Don't know what it was a negative COVID test, so it is what it is. But I actually got something completely new. I'm gonna try this out because I've been wanting to do this for a while. You see people online and make videos on these console fanboys all the time. You got ones for PlayStation, you got ones for Xbox, you got ones for Nintendo. And today, specifically, I have this one guy called Harmon Smith on YouTube. He shills heavily for Nintendo, as you're going to see. I've never in my life sat here and heard like somebody talk down on everything and praised Nintendo like they're the second coming of Christ. But this man does, with a grand total of 565 subscribers. Yeah, I know it's double what I have, but anyways, this guy is adamant on playing on nothing but a Nintendo product and believes that anything else in the world, if it's not made by Nintendo, is absolute trash and doesn't think it should even be in the market. So we're gonna take a look at this guy's video that he published on the 1st of December talking about the Steam Deck, and the title of the video is Ignorant Valve Steam Deck Fanboy Attacks Nintendo Switch, which is funny because he never did attack him. This guy was literally just drawing lines between the Steam Deck and the Switch when it comes to performance, as you would, because there's no other real handhelds out there that can compete with it in the moment. The Steam Deck is kind of the first thing to do it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this dumpster fire of a YouTube video.
Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, and King Dio. Not to mention the upcoming Lauren Frey. Please check out BlackCatBooks.org for that. And here we are with an interesting little video I stumbled on. Valve's Steam Deck does what Nintendo don't. The Switch OLED is irrelevant. First of all, dislike for the completely incorrect title. He didn't even spell Nintendo correctly. Like, look at that. Like, Nintn? Where's the second E? Like, it's not even Nintendo. It's Nintendo.
Yo, imagine sitting here and trying to actually, like, take minutes on end to critique a man's grammar in a title. Like, yeah, okay, he fucked up on that. So what? Do we really get to sit there for a whole minute and a half trying to bitch and moan and make points on it? No. But you'll see throughout this whole entire video that that's all he's gonna do. He has no real points. He just likes to point and laugh at shit that ultimately doesn't even add to the argument because he doesn't have one.
Has a very small group of people on message boards, on YouTube, on GameFAQs, I'm sure, on 4chan, on a NeoGAF, who legitimately believe that the Steam Deck is going to put a dent in Switch's armor, that this is going to be a superior product to Switch, that it's going to stomp all over it, when anyone who knows anything about Valve's history with hardware development and just hardware support knows this thing is going to come out, maybe sell 300,000 units, and completely drop off the radar.
It is a superior product. Regardless of the games, on paper, the Steam Deck honestly blows the Switch out of the water with what it has. And it's funny because people have been asking for the Switch to have these features for a long time, and a lot of people were hoping that when the Switch Pro came out, that it would come with all of these and kind of negate the issues, but it didn't. So no, yeah, the Steam Deck is more powerful, sorry, but it's not even close.
It is irrelevant. It is completely dead in the water. It is never going to be able to compete with Switch or even PS5 or Xbox Series X. That's how irrelevant Valve is in the hardware space. But
the thing isn't even out yet, and he's trying to say it's dead in the water. But are we really going to act like the Switch isn't on its way out right now? With the way they're supporting it, and especially going into the next-gen console generation, it cannot, under any circumstance, keep up with them, and it's not going to be able to run any of those games. Whereas the Steam Deck, I honestly don't even know the spec sheet right now. I'm going to look it up here in a minute, or I can just watch the video because he's going to talk about it. But it's going to be able to run next-gen titles, where the Switch can't even run games that came out in 2015. And if it can, it's compromised very, very badly. So that argument's pretty dumb, dude, but whatever. You look like a pretty dumb person, so I'm not even really surprised. And Valve doesn't need to be relevant in the hardware space because they own the software space. Steam alone is the sole reason they're even above water. Why do you think they barely develop games anymore? Steam is enough to keep them afloat. They make enough revenue and they have enough developers working and selling games on their platform to keep them afloat. So relevancy doesn't really matter when it comes to that. They've already admitted they're making this thing at a loss, so they're really doing it just for that hardcore demographic that wants it. They know not that many people are going to want this. That's already been anticipated.
There are a lot of people who are desperately trying to promote the Steam Deck in order to shit on Nintendo. That's the only reason anyone is excited for this this piece of hardware.
There's not a lot of people doing that, and you already said it yourself. There's not that many people behind the Steam Deck. So which one is it? Because majority of the people that are wanting that to come out, whatever they are saying about the Switch has been warranted, and even Nintendo consumers have been saying this for years. But you're just too much of a shill to actually like come out and say it. So I mean, I don't know, man. Keep contradicting. We're only 2 minutes in, so this is gonna be bad.
So let's go ahead and see what this guy has to say.
Well, what do we have here? It looks like Valve does what Nintendo don't.
I fucking.
Welcome back.
So are like,
dude, what in the fuck is going on with your speakers? Do you not understand how screen recording works at all? It's not hard, man. You just download the video, or if you're gonna fucking do it the way you're doing it, you just record your screen. What are you doing? Are you playing it through speakers? Actually, you're playing it through both.
Valve does what Nintendo don't? You mean they don't put out good games, they don't put out hardware, they don't support hardware for a meaningful amount of time? Is there quality shit? Is that what you mean?
No, what he means by that is they're actually putting in features that people have been wanting for a long time. Because guess what? You can run Windows 10, it runs Steam, you can run emulators, you can download pretty much any game you want on the Steam platform, you can do Spotify, all of this stuff will work on there. What can you do with the Switch? You can buy all the shovelware that they sell in the store, if you really want to, I suppose. Because let's face it, majority of the games that you're going to find on the Switch store are just shovelware, and the other 40%, I'd say 60% are shovelware, the other 40% is the first-party titles and games that are third-party titles that barely run. So you tell me what the Switch does that the Steam Deck doesn't, because as far as it looks right now, I kind of agree with that statement.
Yesterday, Valve did the one thing nobody thought they would do, besides me who made a video about it, and every other YouTuber who made a video about it.
Yeah! You're all just jumping on the train! Yes. You're all just leeches! You're all just parasites!
The Steam Deck, which is a handheld PC that can connect to Steam directly, play any game, and is up to 4 times more powerful than the Nintendo Switch.
They say that like that means anything. You guys need to get it through your thick skulls, right?
They're not leeches. They're people that are excited for the Steam Deck. You know why? Because it looks promising. For $50 more than the Switch OLED, you're getting so much more than what it can offer. And it's not even close. It ain't even close. So yeah, there are people that are making videos about this, because even if it's a niche market, it's a very interesting product to review, have, and use. So yeah, no, obviously people are going to be talking about it. What's the problem? They're not leeches. They're just people supporting the product.
Also, it's only $50 more than the Switch OLED. Let that one sink in.
Oh no!
Is the actual potential of what I would consider to be an RX 470 in the palm of your hand with an 800p screen. We'll get into that.
These complete retards really need to get it through their heads that power has never won a console generation. Right? Because look at something like the Dreamcast, right? Which came out like, during the PS1 N64 lifespan, right? Super cutting edge technology, big deal, big deal, like full motion video, like all these crazy aspects, internet capabilities. There were a lot of things about the Dreamcast that were cutting edge at the time. But what happened? It completely flopped and drove Sega out of the console industry, right? Now there were a lot of other problems with Sega at the time, and that's kind of what Dreamcast fans always try to use to defend the Dreamcast. But no, the Dreamcast was shit. Sega as a company was shit. They couldn't compete with Nintendo, right? Just like PlayStation can't compete with Nintendo, and just like Valve can't compete with Nintendo. Like, it doesn't matter how powerful you make your hardware, because you're not going to have access to the best games.
It means a lot, actually, dude. Are you serious? Because, like, everyone knows, and it's been a point, this has been a problem. Okay, you want to know why there's such little third-party support on the Nintendo Switch? Because majority of these developers know that they're not going to be able to get these games to run on it and to keep a reasonable frame rate and graphical fidelity. There's no way. Because even the games that are on there have severe compromises, man. I mean, they are compromised to shit to be able to hit that 30, even just 30 FPS. There's very little of them that can even go to 60. Even their own first-party titles don't even hit 60 frames per second. The Switch is severely underpowered, and yes, Nintendo has always had underpowered hardware. Even the GameCube, when it was out with the Xbox and PlayStation 2, wasn't even close. The Wii was barely any more powerful than the GameCube, and comparing that to the 360 and PlayStation 2, we saw the exact same problem. There was little to no third-party support on that console at all, and if there was, it was heavily downgraded.
And just like Valve can't compete with Nintendo. Like, it doesn't matter how powerful you make your hardware.
Power doesn't mean anything, right? Okay, so why do you think there's such an issue with the base Xbox One, the base PlayStation 4, and I'll even say your Nintendo Switch that you suck off all the time? Why do you think there's such a problem trying to develop for them? Why do you think next-gen hardware is barely able to be utilized? Because last-gen hardware, it's so behind that they have to compromise and make both ends meet. If that weren't the case, and hardware was where it should be, we would be way ahead. And further to note, with the GPU market being so bad on PC right now, yes, power is important. Well, yes, power is pretty important. Problem is, right now, we can't get our hands on it. Because the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, GPUs, and PCs, they're all sold out. You know why? Because people want it. Because people want power. People want upgrades. No one wants to play on a 720p Nintendo Switch if they're trying to play games competitively or have an enjoyable experience. It's really good for first-party titles. It does a fantastic job with that. I'm not going to sit here and say that, like Zelda is horrible or Mario sucks. I love those games. I own a Switch. I play those games on it. But to sit here and say that it is in the same league as a PC or even a console like an Xbox or PlayStation, it's laughable. It's not. And majority of the consumers would rather play on these platforms because they have more power and run these games better. People want power. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is.
Because you're not going to have access to the best games.
That in just a minute, but yet have the ability to play nearly every single Steam game on the go natively on a handheld device. That is honestly very, very cool, and it has been...
Everything worth playing on Steam is on Switch already. Like, legit everything. There's no reason to be on Steam in the current year. And
what do you mean those games don't exist? You know how many games aren't on the Switch because they can't run on it? Hundreds, man, and I'd even argue thousands. Why do you think there's like no FPSs? Call of Duty's not on there, Battlefield's not on there, Halo's not on there, Forza's not on there, God of War's not on there. None of this shit can be on there, and I know these are exclusives, but even if they weren't, they wouldn't be able to run. They wouldn't be able to downgrade them enough. It's such a weak console. And again, that's completely fine, because it's meant to just run Mario and Zelda and shit. But that's not what the whole market wants. Can you play Left 4 Dead 2 on the Switch? Answer is no. Can you play Counter-Strike on the Switch? Answer is no. I could say that about any other Valve exclusive. I could say that about pretty much any EA game. Anything from Activision. Anything from any other company. The only thing you have is like Doom, Dying Light, your first-party titles, and then shovelware. You have a couple other games, too. Square Enix develops a lot for the Switch. But beyond that, you don't have everything on Steam that you'd want to play on your Switch. No, you don't. And you don't even have a fraction, to be completely real with you. That's stupid. No. That's just stupid.
Perfectly understandable, but that kind of goes into my point about how Steam is a dying platform, because...
Steam's a dying platform? What? No. Actually, really quick, I want to look this up. Steam active users. Okay, no. So Steam has, as of 2019, this is a little outdated. Actually, no, this is from 2020. It had 120 million users, okay? Now let's look at the Switch users in 2020 as well, as a good comparison. All right, and the Switch has 91 million consoles worldwide, so you can lead to believe 91 million users, which is funny that you say that it's dead because it has significantly more users on a daily basis than your fucking Switch. But apparently Steam is dead, guys. It's over. Might as well pack up the bags, hang up the towel, close it down. Why even keep open? You're going out of business. Steam is losing everything. Apparently the Switch is so much better when it comes to their social features, games available, the performance. Apparently we're just stupid for using PCs. We should all just replace our PC with the Switch, obviously. That's clearly where we're going in the future, isn't it? Fucking retarded. What a stupid take. Look up shit. Do your research, man.
Because nobody new is coming on. Like, if we're going to get like a video game console in 2021, you're going to get a Switch. Like, it's not going to be a Steam Deck.
No, if I'm going to get a console in 2021, it's going to probably be an Xbox. And that's not because I'm saying it's better than PlayStation or anything. It's just what I'm raised on. But realistically, I'm staying with my gaming PC. You know why? Because that can run everything that the Xbox has. Most games that you want to play on the PlayStation, it can run those. And your Nintendo games, I can emulate. So, no, I'm staying with my PC. I'm sorry.
Something that big time fans of Nintendo have been wanting a Switch Pro version, something that people really want to sink their
Nobody
teeth
wanted
into.
that. Literally no one.
Here we are, Lord Gaben, blessing us once again. But enough about that. Let's get into the actual specs of the device.
So right here, he's going to sit here and just completely skip the specs part of this video. And then later on, he's going to like completely disregard the thing, saying that it has nothing above the Nintendo Switch and it's underwhelming and underperforming compared to it. But he's too fucking retarded and oblivious to actually figure out what any of these words mean. I doubt he even knows what they mean. Because by looking at this, he lives in a boiler room in his mom's basement, I'm assuming, at age 27, 28, however fucking old he is. Probably unemployed, so one can believe that he's too incompetent to understand what any of these words on screen even mean. I doubt he even knows what a graphics card is.
So here we've got a little bit of a teardown of what the SteamDeck looks
nobody
like
cares about
what
this.
they've got on their side. They've got
Let's start talking about
touch
Nintendo
screen,
again.
They've got a microphone, they've got a D-pad, they've got the ABXY buttons.
Wow, it's exactly like the Switch.
It's not exactly like the Switch. Just because there's a D-pad and buttons on it doesn't make it like a Switch, man. Like, that's such a stupid thing to say. Alright, does a Switch have the trackpad? Does it have a mic on it? Does it have speakers built into the front? Does it have a trackpad? Two trackpads. Support for Windows. Support for controllers. All of this and more. There's more involved. But apparently, just because it has a D-pad and buttons to the right, it's just like a Switch. It's a copy.
So why would I ever get this instead of a Switch?
And why would you ever go for a Switch? Only answer is Zelda and Mario. You want to know why I'd go for a Steam Deck? For literally everything I've already said in the video. I don't even need to repeat that.
Who actually have a Steam controller and actually uses it on a daily basis.
The Steam controller.
I think the trackpads are very cool, and from the
that's actually a really good example.
Produced with
nobody fucking uses the Steam controller, right? Like whenever I use on the very rare occasion when I go on Steam, I just use an Xbox controller. Like, why would I ever have a Steam controller? Because I have a better alternative already, right? The Switch is already superior, right? It already has a better library than Steam.
You're just talking out of your ass, dude.
It already has better controls, better functionality at a much more affordable price. Why in the world would you ever go for a Steam Deck?
With IGN, they're saying that the trackpads are similar to what they have with the Index, which are very high quality trackpads. So a lot of really good mouse movement will be available for games that do require keyboard and mouse, which will be interesting to see. And also, I am a big fan of Steam's overlay, which does give you fully customizable keybinds for every type of controller and or layout.
Yeah, notice how they're not talking about games. Like, they're all these videos are like this. Like, where are the fucking games? Like, oh, you can play every Steam game on it. I don't even play Steam games on my PC, okay? Steam was irrelevant before and after the Switch.
That's funny you say that, because Steam is more than likely the sole reason why PC gaming is even where it's at right now, and that's exactly why they haven't really developed any games, because they don't need to. All of the games that they have made throughout the 2000s are still supported, still updated, and have a pretty relatively healthy player base in all of them. So why make more? Because they're already making the money they need to on Steam, and they have the player base on the games they've already developed to or dedicated because they're such good games. Me, myself, I have so much time put into Left 4 Dead 2. That's probably my favorite game of all time. And it's funny because I first played it on the Xbox 360. I didn't even play it on PC at first. So, no, sitting there and saying that is just wrong. I'm sorry. But I could still play Left 4 Dead 2 and Counter-Strike and Portal and Half-Life and all of that still today, whereas I have little to no desire to even go back and play fucking Zelda, because it's a single-player game. That's not even a bad thing. I'm just saying, there are definitely loyal people who like to play these games still. Steam is very relevant, and it's going to stay relevant, because at this point, they have a monopoly on PC. There's really no other launchers that people want.
Why exactly would I get excited about Steam being put on a tablet? Like, I don't fucking care about Steam.
Of course you don't care about Steam. You only care about sucking off Shigeru Miyamoto every fucking weekend.
Let's see. Let's skip this shit. Does he talk about Nintendo again? I want to see his weird Nintendo comparison.
Has 8 RDNA 2 compute units from 1 put-ups as a measurement of power.
Yeah, don't care about this.
I love how he says he doesn't care. You know why he doesn't care? Because he has no idea what any of those words mean. Because he has no clue what he's talking about.
Really glad I have ad block enabled for this video, by the way.
Gigabytes of DDR5
Notice this video is just over 10 minutes long. What a fucking shill. What a parasite.
NVMe 800 and a 7-inch disc.
Never trust people who always have their videos like 10 minutes long.
So apparently just because your video is over 10 minutes long means that you're a shill. To who, I don't know. It's almost like people make videos on YouTube to live and make money and pay their bills. But who am I to say he's a shill? I'm sorry. I can't stand up for a shill, apparently.
Of Nintendo fanboys.
Oh no, am I getting called out? Okay, let's see.
Oh no, am I getting called out? Yeah, you sure fucking are, dude. And guess what? Not enough people are doing it.
Let's see what he says.
USB-C type power.
Okay.
You've got the micro SD card expansion slot, so it doesn't have.
Don't give a shit about this tech talk. It is completely irrelevant. It's just a desperate shill trying to promote a lackluster product.
How is it completely irrelevant? It's really not. You know, because like when I know you don't understand how PCs work. You just think it's magic or some shit. But every piece of hardware has specs in it. Your Nintendo Switch has some form of graphics card that's running the games it has. It's probably from 1997, but it's still there. So I mean, to sit there and say honestly, like none of this is important, really tells me to your level of intelligence, dude. You shouldn't be making videos like, and that's completely fine. Just don't make videos on this kind of shit because you don't know what you're talking about. Go back to your boiler room and beat off to some more Shigeru Miyamoto pictures, you fucking weirdo.
It's also going to have a dock that comes with it as well, but I don't think you need their official dock. You can just use a USB-C hub, and that'll work there as well. So look, as cool as that sounds, I know why you're here. You're here for the salty tears of Nintendo fanboys.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, they did not disappoint.
So for context, like, fanboys for consoles are always kind of dumbasses. But whenever the Nintendo ones come out, and they're rare, they don't see them as often, because majority of Nintendo fans are really casual. They don't really care about any of this kind of shit. But when the ones like this guy really come out, they're pricks. They are absolute bastards who will sit there into the ends of the earth and defend the Switch like it's a goddamn holy grail or something. I'm just blown away at the fact that they can do that. So when you see them get ratioed on Twitter, it's one of the most hilarious things, because they just shut up. They don't know where else to go. And we're about to see that not only in the tweets this guy, I can't remember his channel's name, but his name is Alec. He's about to go through all of these, and Harmon here is somehow gonna think he's debunking it. I guess we'll see him do that. I don't know.
Now, a main man, Baron Black, who I will be maining in the AEW video game when it comes out, he says the Nintendo Switch OLED is greater than the Steam Deck.
Our boy Baron Black, the Emperor, like literal wrestler, just suplexing these fucking soy boy cucks into the ground.
He says this like this guy is like the most known person in the world, and even if he is, he's about to show a ratio. So why are you hyping him up? He got bullied. Are you fucking stupid?
Like, shit. Like, I didn't even need to make this video.
You're right, you really didn't.
Like, Baron Black just destroyed this guy right there.
No, he didn't. You know why? Because he's about to show the ratio.
That is one of the hottest takes you could possibly have. You know what's going to be even hotter?
Okay.
I'm actually emulating.
Okay, I have a hotter take for you, buddy. The base Switch is better than the fucking Steam Deck.
The base Switch is not even better than my phone. My phone can run games better. Legit. That's the sad part. My phone has more processing power than your entire fucking base Nintendo Switch has.
The Steam Deck has no appeal. I don't understand.
The Steam Deck has no appeal to you. However, it has a mass appeal to PC gamers who want to take their games on the go, much like how you do with your Switch. So, who's really talking out of their ass?
Nintendo Switch games, Wii U games, GameCube games, Super Nintendo games, NES games,
you can't do that.
Game Boy games, Game Boy
piracy. Nope, you can't get a hold of those games legally.
Imagine being a grown man and just trying to shut someone up by going, nope, wrong, nope. Like, come on, man. I know you got that fucking Super Mario's picture in the back there. You probably haven't taken that shirt off in a month and a half, but come on. You can at least try and form an argument, man. You can't just sit there and shut someone down like you're in fucking grade school. Like, come on. It ain't that hard to fucking form an argument. Even if you have a wrong take, at least say something. Don't just sit there and put your fingers in your ears and act like you can't hear it, man. Like, come on. You gotta at least say stuff. You can't just sit there. I can't think of anything else to say about this guy. This guy's, like, got something wrong with him. And furthermore, so what? Because I have bought these games multiple times on old consoles. I have so many games on my GameCube. I have Nintendo 64 games. I even had a Wii, and I bought games on it. I've bought these games before, but Nintendo insists not even on making me rebuy it anymore, but paying it monthly to play them. And I'm not doing that because I've already bought the game. And that's why so many people are okay with pirating Nintendo games, at least the old ones, because we've already purchased them and we've already played them, so why should we give them our money twice? Especially when they have little to no method of giving us these games legally, except the store, which I don't know if you know this or not, but they're also emulations, man. They're emulating these games. They're not redoing anything with them. So for me to take that game that I've paid for, literally paid for already, and put it to my PC, realistically, isn't that illegal?
So like, there's no argument, you fucking faggot.
Imagine calling somebody a faggot.
Like, shit. You have no argument. You have no reason. Oh, I can just pirate the game.
It's not pirating if I've already paid for it 2 fucking times, dumbass.
You know, Nintendo Switch Online exists. You can get...
It sure does. Nintendo Switch Online does exist for a grand total of $60 a year, which gives you literally just the N64 game, some Animal Crossing DLC, and access to online features that are half-baked to begin with. There's not even any social features. You can't talk to anybody on the actual Switch itself. You gotta download an app on your phone. There's no way to message anybody. The only thing it does is tell you who's online and what they're playing. That is something that's literally been upgraded since the Xbox 360 and onward. But apparently to you, that's like the deal of a lifetime. You'll fucking hand that over to them without even any thought process whatsoever. Probably why you don't have a house or an apartment or any form of funds.
Most of the all-time classics legally on Switch right now. There is no justification for piracy.
I feel like I'm justified when I've already bought the game twice.
Games on my Steam Deck for free without giving Nintendo a dime. Bam Bam V3 just can't understand why people are hyped for the Steam Deck. It's literally the Switch Pro that everyone has been wanting for the last 3 years. And he says, seeing a lot of people hype this up on the timeline. Y'all, we're just on Nintendo. Shake my head. We gotta do better. See, Bam Bam, it's not us that has to do better. It's Nintendo that has to do better. We've been telling them what...
What?!
Dude, that was the most genuine scream I've ever heard in my life. He's so pissed about this.
What do you mean Nintendo has to do better?
He means Nintendo has to do better. The Switch Online is a joke. The specs of the Switch itself are a joke. With the lack of first-party support they've been giving the Switch in the last year and a half has been kind of a joke. Yeah, they need to do way better, actually.
Like, are you angry that Nintendo doesn't give you games for free?
No, but you're angry that we can play them for free.
Are you angry that Nintendo doesn't have a super powerful tablet, that they didn't make a Switch Pro? What the fuck are you saying? What are you talking about? You ignorant little shit.
Yeah, I like how you call him ignorant, but you're the one that skipped like half of his video because you didn't feel like looking at it. And now you don't know what's going on. So, I mean, who's really ignorant here?
We've wanted for the last 3.5 years.
He just keeps repeating himself. Oh man, it's the Switch Pro, man. This is the Switch Pro we wanted. This is the Pro. Fuck off.
Money,
fuck off.
They don't give us the games we want on the virtual console. They still have not fixed their Joy-Con drift. They do everything they can.
There is no Joy-Con drift. It's an overstated issue.
Like Thanos.
There's no Joy-Con drift, huh? Alright, so the thousands of people that have shown it actually happening are just liars then, right? Okay, whatever you say, man. Because God forbid they give proof and you have no fucking argument whatsoever.
Comes in and says, fine, I'll do it.
Thanos, a Marvel reference! Oh man, what a soy boy.
Did he really just call this man a soy boy for referencing a Marvel movie? Have you looked at yourself, man? Have you looked at the environment you live in? Have you looked at what you're making a video on? Whatever you say, dude. If he's the soy boy, I guess he's the soy boy. I guess you're Christ himself.
What the Switch failed to do, however, was to actually change the power differential of what people actually wanted out of a handheld device.
Nobody cares about the power!
So you're really actually believing that there's no such thing as a hardcore market, right? That's hilarious to me because I'd argue, like, right, it is smaller than the casual market, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's still a good amount of people that want these things and want power in their hardware. There's a lot of people that want that. Why do you think the PC gaming industry is as large as it is? Because people out there that want the high FPSs and their games to look as good as possible and to be able to do X, Y, or Z on their computer. Granted, yes, that is smaller than the majority of people that just want to play video games, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And like I said, Valve is selling this thing at a loss. They know it's not going to be the next Switch. They are aware of that, and no one's expecting it to be. This product solely exists for the people that are already invested in the Steam in the Steam market. That is it. It's not trying to win people over. It's not trying to do any of these things. It's just here for people that want it. And it's already sold out too. So I mean, it's apparently, according to this guy, it's going to fail immediately. So numbers apparently don't mean anything to this guy. But then again, he probably doesn't even have his diploma. I mean, I doubt he was even able to get through math class without a calculator. So,
At this point in time, the people who are actually playing games, who are actually talking about them online, and who actually are passionate about the hobby are all exclusively Nintendo fans.
No, they're not. And funny enough, I'd say the smallest demographic is Nintendo fans, unless you want to count the kids that have Switches, but I don't really count them because they don't even know what's going on in the world yet. They just see, oh, it's a Mario. I like Mario. Get me that. So if you were to argue those people or those kids are the demographic and apparently the only gamers that exist, and go right ahead.
They don't talk about this shit. They don't talk about tech or specs or try to say that like, oh, I can just pirate everything on my machine. They just play their fucking games. Okay.
They sure do. And usually they're buying an Xbox or PlayStation if you're casual. They don't really want to Switch. You know why? Because they go to the store and they see, oh, Madden's not on the Switch. Neither's Call of Duty. I don't want it. That's your casual gamer. Sorry, but I mean, the only other casuals you have are the people that do prefer the Switch, but that's significantly smaller.
This guy...
and actually providing free online that it should have had from the beginning. The Switch failed to provide an actual virtual console for us to play the old games we would have given Nintendo money for. The Switch failed.
So wait. He's gonna brag about free games? He's gonna brag about free games on the Steam Deck, but then complain about the virtual console?
No, that's literally not what he said. He said if they gave us these games on the virtual console, that we would pay for them. However, they're not. So therefore, we're going to pirate them for free because they're not giving it to us. We have no legal way of purchasing these games. So I don't know if you're too fucking retarded to figure that out or not, but that's what he's trying to say. That's what he already said, actually. But whatever, man. You create your little story in your head if it makes you feel any better.
What you have to pay for? This guy is a two-faced little shit. He's hypocritical. There is no way he would ever, under any circumstance, actually pay.
Dude, calm down. You're gonna wake your mom up, and I know you don't want her to come down there and beat your ass, dude.
It failed because it didn't attract the hardcore consumer base that are willing to spend the money on a much more powerful
What
device.
hardcore consumer base? Switch just outsold, like... I believe it outsold the PS2 in Japan.
I like how he says it outsold the PS2 in Japan when it's just now reaching that point. It's like barely there. And that's not even a good comparison because like when did the PS2 stop even selling? Like 2007? A while ago. Like that's a very old console at this point. So are you really trying to grasp at straws and be like, "Oh yeah, it outsold a console from 2001. We're winning this console war, baby." You fucking sound like a retard, man. Shut the fuck up.
Because this other thing exists, right? You saw this with the handheld division, right?
I'm skipping that part because he literally just talks about how Nintendo dominated handhelds in the 2000s. Like, yeah, no shit, they really did. But what does that have to do with the Steam Deck? Really nothing. You're just talking about past sales. That's it.
101. Now, of course, the internet's favorite Twitter account, Mohammed Anib. This guy is literally everywhere. I think all he really does is
Who the
just
fuck
tweet.
makes videos on
He
tweets?
says,
Who the fuck reacts to a guy making videos on tweets?
$400
This is like-
overpriced. That is
This is like Video Game Lover 58 style shit, where he makes videos on like Black Sage D's opinions on One Piece or Shun. Who the fuck cares what some asshole said on Twitter?
Apparently you.
Like, really?
gotta be one of the dumbest things I've honestly ever read. But of course, with incredible fashion, the man gets ratioed to no end. Tox715 puts
Oh man, a bunch of fanboys who have no games like left angry tweets on my feed. Oh man, he totally got BTF go guys. No, you're part of a cult.
Now remember when he says this, because in a couple minutes, and actually a couple seconds after editing, he's going to show another one where it's vastly larger and he just has nothing to say.
You're part of a brainwashed cult who legitimately believes that that Gaben Valve has done anything relevant since Half-Life 2.
They have done a lot of things relevant since Half-Life 2.
Like, I can't imagine, like, your last relevant game being Half-Life 2, and you still making videos attacking fans of other developers. Like, fucking Metroid Prime 3 came out in 2007, right? Fucking Metroid Prime is more relevant than Half-Life is right now.
Let's not talk about Left 4 Dead, Portal, Counter-Strike, SteamDeck that's coming out, Steam VR, Half-Life Alyx. None of that apparently is relevant. That didn't do anything. That all failed. Apparently, Steam is failing. Remember, it's a failing platform, according to Harmon Smith. So yeah, I guess Steam is done.
Significantly better hardware in it. Case and point. $50 more from a Nintendo Switch OLED to a Valve Steam Deck, and you actually have a real viable handheld. Mohammed again with the back-to-back ratios. He says, that's the same price of a PS5. Damal AT responds with the amazing ratio that I've ever seen. Yeah, but you actually get to play games on this. Roasted. Armored Chocobo says,
shitting on the PS5 is not an accomplishment, bro. Like, shit.
It really took you a good 20 seconds of just a blank face to come up with that, because that didn't even make any fucking sense. No one shit on the PS5, dude. It was like, I don't understand what that even meant.
Salty to think that this is what? You think a tablet handheld is a copyright? There's no way kids.
I love how he just skips through shit when he doesn't like that it's not going his way. It really says a lot, because he just can't think of anything to say. I'm assuming. He's just had this straight face looking at it like he's blown away for a good minute and a half now, so I don't know, man. What are you going to say? Sure, you could argue that there's 100 people in that one tweet were just PC cultists, as he called it. But when you want to sit there and say 17.8 thousand people are, you're going to look like an idiot. So yeah, I guess he knew that. All right, so beyond that, that's pretty much it. At the end of the video, I'm going to skip most of it because it's just him bitching about the Steam Deck, really not saying anything. But the last thing he really did say was that it's going to die and become irrelevant, and it's not going to sell well, which is hilarious because it's already sold out. The pre-orders are sold out. So yeah, it ain't selling well, apparently. But yeah, no, this is Harmon Smith on YouTube. This man uploads relatively consistently and somehow hasn't stopped, even though he's gotten ratioed constantly in his comment section. And I know dislikes are gone on YouTube, but there is a plugin you can get to see them, and every one of them is just disliked to hell because he has the most wrong takes I've ever seen. The fact that I can see a 30-year-old grown man with a receding hairline wearing these fucking children's Mario outfits in his goddamn basement bitching about other platforms and praising Shigeru Miyamoto like he's Christ himself says a lot to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all the time I have for this guy. Complete fucking moron. I genuinely can't understand how you can live a life like that and feel happiness, 'cause like there's got to be some emptiness in your soul, dude. Go outside, man. I'm sure you haven't seen the sun in a while. I don't know. I just feel like there's better things you can do with your life. But who am I to say? I guess I don't really fucking know shit.